Hey y'all, it's Marcel. Kyle had asked me to kind of do a video and just talk about technology and some of the things that I use when making video, doing branding, marketing on social media and the like. So this is going to be a little bit different video than you're used to seeing me do, but I wanted to show you kind of some of the background on some of the tools I use, some of the things I like, some of the things I don't like in this new world that we live in. By new world, I mean that, as a realtor and as a lender, it used to be good enough to just be good at your job, to be technically accurate, to be fast, to provide high levels of customer service. All of that were very, very integral parts of our business. However, over the last couple of years, everything has expanded on that. So now we really have to make sure that we do have that local visibility, have our branding. And so video and social media is one of the easiest ways to do that. So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I use. So one of the first things I want to talk about is video cameras. Now I have changed over to a more powerful camera, but when I first got started, actually, I was using a webcam, and you can use a webcam made by Logitech that actually shoots in 4K. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is a Logitech Brio webcam. And so in essence, you can hook this up directly to your computer, and that way you have the ability to actually take video at 4K. Resolution is very, very important, but you don't have to spend huge amounts of money in order to get some type of 4K video. So Logitech Brio 4K video camera, I highly recommend. These probably run somewhere around $140, $150 or so, so they're not terribly expensive, and they can really help you out when you're trying to take video and make sure that you do get that 4K look. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is microphones. And so the microphone that I'm using right now is going to be, and let me show this to you. So this is a Rode microphone. You don't have to get a microphone like this. This microphone is kind of my next step up. I probably spent somewhere around $199 or so on this. And so a Rode shotgun microphone is good to use, but you don't have to spend that much money. When I first got started, I got started with a different product, and it's actually a Yeti. And let me kind of show you what that microphone looks like. Okay, when I first got started, this is actually the Yeti Blue microphone. And one of the reasons why I like this microphone so much is because it actually has settings on the back. And with these settings, what you can actually do is you can change it to where you can have it focused just straight ahead, or you can have it structured to where it is now going to be taking in sound from two different sides. And that's really important, especially if you're going to be doing any type of interviews or anything like that. So if you've seen any of the videos to where I'm interviewing someone, generally I'm going to end up using this Yeti because it'll end up having both sides. The audio quality is going to be a little bit better on this Rode microphone that I use, and I do have it on a microphone stand. One of the big mistakes I made when I first started recording videos is I thought I could just mount this on my camera, and then I would end up taking a video. I'd be 20, 30 feet away, and I'd be like, man, this volume and this sound is just horrible. And so what I found is that even though you have a good microphone, it does have to be pretty close to you. So normally when I'm taking video, I will have this just outside the frame of the screen to where you can't see it, but it is very close. Normally it's going to be within probably about 2 or 3 feet of me, so I try to keep it pretty close. The other thing that I wanted to mention is when you are shooting video, you do have to have some way to edit that video and kind of really customize it. Now, iPhone obviously has iMovie, which is very easy to use. One of the programs that I used is a program called WeVideo, and it's geared more toward probably high school freshmen or sophomores who are trying to get into video, but it allows you to put your video in, you can do transitions, you can put titles in, you can put text, animations, add a music track. It allows you to do quite a bit. It is a little limiting if you end up wanting to go really high end of the spectrum on video editing, but for people that are really just getting into video editing, it does more than enough. So if you're thinking about getting into video editing and really just kind of want to take your first step in, I highly recommend WeVideo. Now what I've started using is a program called Adobe Premiere Pro. And so for those of you that are familiar with it, it's a great program. However, when I made the transition from Video to Adobe Premiere Pro, I actually took a step back in my video making skills. And why is that? Because I had to learn this brand new robust environment where literally you can do it 100,000 different things, but it took me time to learn how to even do some of those things. So I've been working on that now for probably about 6 weeks. I have adjusted some of the videos and figured out how to make the video a little bit better, and certainly there's still going to be a learning curve there. Now, our next thing I want to talk about is acoustics. And acoustics to the room are so important because at the end of the day, you don't want to make a video to where it sounds like you're sitting in a bathroom stall. So a couple things to think about there. If you notice here, we actually have curtains in the office. Generally, I wouldn't have curtains in an office. However, they are great at absorbing some of that sound. In addition to that, if you look here on the back, these are actual sound panels. And the reason that's so important is because you do want to kind of absorb all of the sound that might be bouncing off the walls, bouncing off the ceilings, really bouncing around, because it can give your video a horrible sound to it. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. Some of these larger tiles can be a little expensive. I think I probably spent $140, $150 on all of the larger tiles. Some of the smaller ones can be pretty cheap. The little 12 by 12 inch squares you can normally get for about $1 to $1.50 a piece. You've probably seen the ones with the zigzaggy waves in them. Those are good. Actually, they're pretty good at absorbing sound. If you are looking at those, try to get the ones that are 2 inches thick and not 1 inch thick. You really can tell a pretty big difference on sound. The other thing that I found is this. These are going to be really cool too, and so these I found on Amazon. They're probably about $1.70 or so a piece, but literally I put these on the wall all over. If you notice, I actually have them on my door. That way the sound isn't really coming through the door as much. And also I have it back against my computer area. So if you notice here, any place where I feel like the sound would really be bouncing off the walls pretty significantly, I put a tile like this. So these tiles are really easy to use. Again, when you're thinking about furniture, try to get furniture again that's going to absorb some of the sound. What you'll notice here is I have chairs. Most of these are going to end up being covered in cloth. Again, the reason for that is to absorb as much sound as possible. So now let's talk about lighting. Lighting is very, very important. As I'm sure you've probably noticed, we have a lot of these round ring lights. Now these are not that expensive. Generally you can get these for probably 60 or 70 bucks on Amazon. When you are looking at these lights, try to get ones that have 2 adjustments on them. And number 1 is going to end up being the intensity. You want to be able to dim the light, have it very bright, or turn down the dimmer, and so that's going to be important. The other thing is going to be the temperature control. Sometimes when you're filming, you'll notice, wow, everything looks so white. I need to add a little bit of color or warmth to it. With that, you do want to have the ability to kind of turn things up, but you also have to be careful. If you turn up the temperature too high, everything is almost going to have like an orange effect to it. So be careful when you're making those adjustments. These round ring lights are pretty cheap, and the first way that I actually got into lighting. Now, since then, I have actually changed over to some other lights, and those are going to be these lights. These are going to be lights that are LED. They're not going to be the circles. One of the reasons why I kind of moved away from the circles is because when I'm shooting sometimes, it seems like I had these strange white circles in my eyes, and I just thought it looked really weird. So changed over to kind of these LED lights. These seem like they're doing a lot better. Also, what is awesome on these is that you can control where the light is going to hit. So literally you can focus the light by turning these in and have it as more more of a spotlight, you can have it come out in one specific direction. And again, these are really nice. I like these lights a lot. They're probably going to be a little bit more expensive. You're probably going to be looking at about $80 to $90, $100 a piece. But in my opinion, they're certainly worth it because you have more control over the light. Now again, make sure that you do have the adjustable dimmer on the light, as well as the amount of temperature control. So you'll be able to turn it from a white all the way to really giving a lot more warmth through almost an orange effect. But in any case, if you have any questions on video, I am 100% self-taught. I watch some of the stuff on YouTube and just try to kind of bumble and stumble through the process like most loan officers and most realtors do. So if you do have questions on how to do things, how to shoot video, audio, anything like that, I'm more than happy to help out. Just let me know, and I look forward to giving you more updates, talking about technology and best practices. In any case, I hope you have a great day. Thanks.